Welcome back. Pushing back on big tech overnight, President Trump threatened to veto a major defense bill unless it revokes Section 230 of the 1996 Communications Decency Act. The president tweeted this in part: "Our country can never be safe and secure if we allow 230 to stand. The provision gives social media giants broad immunity from legal liability for content posted by their users." Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey told lawmakers back in October that Section 230 is the most important law protecting speech on the internet. It's also protecting Twitter from getting sued. Dagan McDowell, your reaction.
And this is my opinion. I suspect that a broad repeal of Section 230 would actually lead to more censorship by these companies, these social media giants. We already know that they do it. It would give them incentive to censor even more speech, even more thought, even more content. But there might be a different way. This would be a heavy lift to repeal Section 230 by the Congress. But I want to note something that Justice Clarence Thomas seemed to suggest in October of this year, that he suggested in a writing that the Section 230 is too broadly interpreted, that it could be, the interpretation should be narrowed. And I'll get into this. So there was a case that the Supreme Court did not take up involving Section 230, but he said, Justice Thomas said his fellow justices were right to pass on that case, but SCOTUS should welcome the chance to scale back Section 230 from the bench through a different case. So Justice Thomas suggesting that the interpretation about this broad legal liability is too broad.
Well, the president's saying it is a threat to national security. The NDAA conference is going to be meeting on Wednesday to review language. Section 230 has protected these companies, Scott, and when it was first put in the 1996 Decency Act, these companies were not as powerful as they are today. Today, they are dominant players. They are not bulletin boards. They have taken a side. And, of course, that side is against a sitting president.
Yeah, I mean, Maria, totally different world. I mean, look at Facebook, billions of users. And I mean, in a world where there's a dearth of responsible journalism out there, it just is really a sad thing to look at our society and see that folks rely on Facebook and Twitter to basically run their lives. And that's the issue I have, too, is I read that stuff on there. I take it into account, but I do some of my additional investigative processes as well. And so I think, this whole issue of saying, guys like Jack Dorsey, guys and gals like Mark Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg from Facebook, Dorsey from Twitter, can choose and not choose what they want to post and what they want to show is a scary thing with respect to how media is communicated to everybody out there and the influences it has.
Yeah, we'll be watching. This is an important subject on whether or not Section 230 goes away. It will impact these companies. Coming up, getting Americans the